we got the Simpsons Radioactive Man from Super7. If you saw my unboxing video, then you know that I was pretty excited to get this one in and review it. This will be my first Simpsons Super7 figure, and I can't wait to check this one out. I think he's always seemed like a really cool character in the show. You didn't get to see too much of him, but you know, being a fan of everything superhero, I thought it was awesome that they had their own, comic book character. Here's the packaging for it, your typical Super7 packaging. Mine didn't come with a slipcase, and I don't know if that was something new that they started to do, was to take that extra case away. Haven't gotten any other recent Super7 to know if that's definite. Side of the package, and the back of the package with a little bio, original air date, January 14th, 1990. That's crazy, it's been that long. Other side, looks like he's got alternate head sculpt, flag accessory, 3 sets of hands, so 6 hands altogether, and a little comic book, so which is really cool. Let me get him open and see what he's looking like. So here is the Super7 Ultimates Radioactive Man out of the packaging with all of his accessories. We have the alternate head sculpt, which doesn't look very drastic from the one that's on his body right now. Maybe a little more determined. I don't know, it looks really close, not that drastic. We have kind of a open hand palm look. I don't know, you can pose it different ways, but I'm pretty sure this is meant for the comic book that he comes with, which is a soft plastic. Can bend pretty good. Nothing on the back. Radioactive Man introducing neutrino. He holds that pretty good. We have an open hand, grasping hand, and that is for his flag, his US flag, which looks really good. A little stiffer rubber. Nice little plastic for the ropes. But that slides right on in. Can hold that. Pretty cool. We have a thumbs up hand, or thumbs down, however you're feeling. And a pointing finger, looking at you. Now this guy, overall, is pretty cool. I mean, I like the way he looks, but he does have his own little faults. And we'll get into that now. Alright, so this Radioactive Man is pretty cool. But mine does have his own little issues. His legs are pretty loose, just a little loose. Nah, they're pretty loose. Not the worst I've seen, but I think they pop off pretty easy. They'll be okay to hold him, but I don't know how well they're gonna hold him over time. The other joints are pretty stiff. Can hit the T-pose, but if you look under that arm here, you got paint chipping coming off. Mine has a little gouge on his lip, right about there, if you can see that. Smudge all over. Smudges on his head. A little disappointing in that, especially for one that I've definitely been wanting. It has an awesome cloth cape that's wired all the way around. I think that's pretty cool. And the paint behind the knees, I got a little bit of chipping in there. It's missing a little bit. So the QC on him isn't the best, which kind of sucks because the Super7 figures aren't that cheap anyways. But this is also my one and now likely to be my only Simpsons figure from that line, mostly because they had ended up losing the license. And I don't know, the line looked really good. It had some promise to it. I think the Super 7 figures are pretty costly anyway, so you got to be kind of selective on them. Which is why he's the only one that I have. I wanted to give it a shot. And they didn't make the core members of the family. You know, they had Homer, but it was the spacesuit Homer. You have Bart, you have the Bart Man, which I do still kind of want, but I don't know that I could actually say I recommend these figures. Really cool looking, but the cost is just up there, and if the QC is kind of like this, it's kind of disappointing. If you're lucky, you catch it on sale, but then with them losing the license to them, I mean, you're never going to get the core members. Is another company going to get it? You have to start a whole new line. You know, you have that whole thing to deal with. So unless you have one that you really, really wanted, which Radioactive Man was the one for me, then I don't know that it's worth picking up. That one you'd have to make the call yourself. I think it's going to look awesome. It's like a single figure on a shelf. I would have liked to have gotten Krusty or, you know, Bartman. I just don't know if that'll happen. Maybe if I catch them on sale or something like that, it would be the only way to do it. But then again, I have to think about the fact that you'd never get the rest of the family or anything like that. So kind of go over a little bit of articulation. His arms can hit pretty decent T-pose. Again, you have the little paint chipping there. Single jointed elbow, which you don't get that much range in there at all, which I wasn't expecting. I mean, I would always love to get a little bit more, but these figures are a little more stylized. And they nail the look of them. That's your single jointed knee. And that's as far as you're going. Little hinge for a little bit of a ball down there for the ankle. But you're not going to be doing much. You're not going to get that crazy dynamic posing. He does have a waist cut right there. That's as far as he's going. Ab crunch, almost non-existent. He doesn't go back, he just straightens back up. That's about it right there. So other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple figure. You're just looking for him to stay on a stand, at least I am. He's just gonna be standing there, pretty stand out. But I don't know if that alone was worth the cost, which is why I couldn't tell anybody I recommend it. I've got other Super 7 figures. Turtles, Thundercats. I love this. Just get a couple of quick poses, you know. Buy my book. So you can still have some fun with them. Maybe get some cool shots out of them. You there. This sort of thing. Awesome. Cape helps out a lot. Really cool. So you get some poses, some really good poses out of them. Just to stand there. I don't know that I could do a stop motion with them. I mean, I've did some with way less, you know. I think that's awesome. That's probably how he's going to be sitting on my stand. That looks really cool, but probably all he's meant to be. I wouldn't expect him to do anything more dynamic. Legs split about that far, but again, the legs are kind of flimsy at the hip joints. Mess with him too much and the legs will fall off, or I don't know, he might not hold up over time. I still like him for what he is, but no way I could recommend him. I mean, you guys see it. The QC issues, pretty costly for what you get. Not super dynamic, but he is stylized again, so kind of your choice, kind of your thing. And then you have the other things to consider, the fact that they won't have the rest of the family or anything like that. So totally up to you. Let me grab a couple things and we'll do a couple height comparisons. So here's Radioactive Man next to the Super 7 Mumra and the Mattel version of Lion-O from Thundercats. And you can tell he's shorter than both, but he's got a bigger build than Lion-O. That Mumra is just pretty massive. Both awesome. Here he is next to the Mezco Superman and the Marvel Legends Hawkeye. And he looks about the same height as Hawkeye, really. It's just his body shape is a lot larger, which is pretty cool. I kind of wish I had some of the other ones to compare size, you know, Krusty the Clown or something like that. But I have here also a Super 7 Samurai Leo, who also has a slightly loose leg joint. So I don't know if that's just Super 7 figures. Well, this one just came out. I just got it and it's like that. And this Leo looks like it probably loosened up over time. Hopefully this Radioactive Man doesn't get any worse. You know, if I just leave him like that, hopefully he can hold up. But yeah, that's it for this review. Hopefully you got some good information out of it, enough to make a decision on whether you want it or not. I myself still like the figure. It's not without its flaw. Again, I can't really recommend it because of that. It's just the figure of a character that I really wanted. I thought was really interesting. I'll enjoy it on the shelf. I think it was a little much price-wise for what you get out of it, but still not a bad figure for me. That's up to you to make your own call, and hopefully you saw enough out of him to make your own choice. Have a good one, and catch you on the next one.